Is this someone? I might be wrong. That's Crowder. I don't want to do Crowder. Let me. Oh man. So. All right, let's do. This is a good walk. Well, that's a good walk up to that. I don't want her. Okay. I'll throw this one up first because this one kind of rubbed me the wrong way. This is a 9-minute video. We're not watching this whole damn thing.
On the line to discuss all of this is Rob Henderson of the Manhattan Institute, best-selling author of Troubled, a memoir of foster care family and social class. And you can check out his Substack as well. Rob, thanks so much for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Ben. Great to be here.
So, Rob, you've been writing a lot on the Manosphere. You've seen the documentary, obviously. What do you make of the impact of the Manosphere? There's been a lot of talk about it's not really that many people or it doesn't really make a big difference. I got to say that this plays into sort of a broader question about whether online is reality. And I think my answer is online is not reality, but for a lot of young people.
Does his voice like bother you as much as it does me?
Online can, in fact, become reality. And increasingly, online is bleeding over into reality.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think a lot of the concerns are overblown, but the lexicon and some of the ideas are spilling over into real life. There was a very interesting survey recently which asked representative samples of young men, who do you consider to be someone to look up to? And it listed, famous figures like LeBron James and others, but then also, Elon Musk, but also people like Andrew Tate and Manosphere figures. And this is good news that.
What Manosphere figures? And Manosphere figures, such as Andrew Tate. By the way, I saw the list that he was talking about. There's only one Manosphere figure, and that was Andrew Tate. There was no other names on there. Myron Gaines was not on there. Tate was on there, but no one else was on there. And he was down at the bottom of the list. He's about to say that too. There was no other Manosphere on there. Stop lying.
The Manosphere figures were towards the bottom in terms of how likely young men were to look up to them.
Okay, so Manosphere figures: Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn. Let's see, his employer, Jordan Peterson, was actually on that list too.
Or think of them as role models. But still, if you interact with Zoomers, young men in everyday life, you will hear them use phrases like mogging, chadopoly, Stacy's, a lot of the sort of language that you hear from Manosphere influencers. So even if they're not directly consuming the content, it is sort of spilling out through social media and then into the real world.
Have you, outside of clavicular, does the average guy use mogging in his vernacular? To this day, the only time I hear that is when I'm maybe I'm speaking at MOA Summit or something like that, and I don't even think Mystery even uses. He'll use amog, but he's not going to say mogging or say it's just a bastardization of a concept, right? So. Oh, really? How toxic did you get, brother man? It's true. It's all true. But if you stay on it, it becomes very toxic. How so? How does it become toxic? How? What did you do? And Rolo is living off of it. How much money do you actually think I make? I want to know, how much, give me a ballpark figure. How much do you think I take yearly? Off of my books alone, because I'll be happy to show you that my analytics for YouTube. How much money do you think I'm actually making? I live comfortably, but how much money do you think I'm making?
Rob, one of the things that's really interesting, you observed this about Louis Theroux's approach in this documentary, is that the normal answer to this sort of toxic masculinity would be traditional masculinity, right? The things that I try to preach on the show, that many of us try to preach about the actual virtue of hard work, making commitments to one woman, protecting her, creating a family, all the things that actually we know from the social science generate actual lifetimes of happiness. But one of the things that the left has done, and Thoreau falls into this trap, is on the one hand, he wants to condemn all of this immorality for being vulgar and terrible. And on the other hand, because he's socially liberal, he has no language with which to actually condemn this behavior. And so instead, he suggests that it's more about the grift, or that it is more about lack of consent in some cases. But there's one point in the documentary that's kind of fascinating.
All right, so I think what's fun here, I'm gonna let him continue, but one of the things I find, and this is part one. One of the things that's fascinating here is we're the ones that are telling everybody, we're the ones. So does that mean you're part of the Manosphere, Rob? Does that mean you're part of the manosphere? Wait, let me see. Hold on. Wait. You make at least, oh, darn. Should I make less? Is that what you're saying? I should be making less than that? Or should I be making more? Actually, I make more than that, but should I be making, how dare I profit that much? Is that what you're worried about? Is that what you're worried about, brother? Let's see. It's made Rolo a total of $1 million minimum. All his book, super chats, podcasts, grift with Sartain. Yes. Let me tell you something. Would you like to see my 1090? Would you like to see my taxes? Because like you guys think I am way more paid than I am. And especially these days now. Like, if you want to talk about that, you got to stop the fucking show just so I can school this motherfucker real quickly here. So should I not make any money? Should I just give it away for free? Because a lot of you asshats think that that's the way it should be. Guys who steal my fucking Twitter account, guys who pirate my book. I have dealt with, in the past week, I have dealt with 3 separate trademark violations, infringements. Literally naming books. They're AI slop, right? These guys will, in Pakistan, whatever, they'll get AI to make a cover of it. They'll call it the Rational Mail. It's 97 pages. If you even go, you want to read a sample of it, right? You can tell it's just crap. It is AI generated, and they don't even like care. There's no polish. There's nothing to it. They don't even try, right? It's just a product. But I still have to run that down. I have to file a report. I have to go and say, hey, I own the trademark. Should I not own the trademark to the Rational Mail? Maybe I should give it to you, Alonzo. Should everything be fucking free? If you, what was it? Sterling Cooper was saying, like, if you went to, let's see, if you went to, was it a doctor? Would you expect that doctor to work for free? He had to learn to do the things he does. Would you expect let's say if you went to a golf pro, I use this example. If you went to a golf pro and you're paying him like $40 a lesson, and you're learning to improve your swing, should you not be paying the golf pro and you're doing good? Dude, you're a fucking idiot, dude. You're an absolute fucking idiot. It made you resentful for that book, especially that book. I would say if you would have said Player's Handbook, you didn't read the book. I would believe you if you said Player's Handbook, but you didn't read the book. You're just grasping for straws here, dumbass. Seriously, I don't know why I'm giving you attention right now, but I wanted to call this out because I get this all the time. People will go, well, even Rob Henderson is about to say this here in a moment, right? He's going, these guys, they just make all of this money off and they send it to their fictional academies and everything. Watch this.
Where he is talking to Justin Waller's wife, and at a certain point, she's acquiescing in all of this. And the normal kind of traditional answer would be, it doesn't matter if you acquiesce in this. What you're doing is bad for yourself and bad for your kids and bad for your family and not a way that you should be living. But he doesn't have the capacity to condemn it in that fashion. And so he seems almost at a loss. What do you make of that?
It seems to be working for him. His wife's on board with it. He has, now he has 3 children. I know them personally. Neither one of these individuals know Justin Waller. But they're both scared shitless or chicken shit to talk to me, or Mike Sartain knows Justin as well. None of these guys want to actually have a conversation with the manosphere profile. None of them want to. But they'll be happy to make up straw man arguments. They'll be happy to turn that into it. Now, listen to what Rob's going to say.
Right. Well, this is the sort of the consent-based morality of modern secular progressive kind of culture, where as long as everyone agrees to it, if there's a tacit.
Justin Waller is the last person you would call conservative. Justin Waller is. I can show you pictures of Justin Waller with Trump and with Trump's son at Mar-a-Lago. So yeah, not progressive.
Understanding, then anything goes. But of course, this is, can erode relationships, a lot of the ideas that the manosphere peddles. One example of this, and when I wrote about this piece recently in the Wall Street Journal, there were sort of multiple layers of contradictions and hypocrisy. So one of them was that these guys, sort of the bedrock foundation of their framework is women are born with innate value and men are not, which there's a grain of truth to that. But what they say, women are born with innate importance and value, and then they immediately contradict this.